Good song.
I'm welcoming you all to us.
Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome, everyone.
Ben knows absolutely nothing.
This man doesn't know nothing.
You don't know nothing.
He doesn't know a fucking thing.
You don't know bloody nothing.
Welcome. Ben knows nothing. Make sure before we continue, go slap that subscribe button. Freaking slap it. Hit it, flick it, whatever you got to do, go off and hit it. Ian, it's been a little bit. We missed. What did we miss last week? We missed a week.
Last week was just crazy for both of us.
It was one of the most intense, I would say, times I've had in a long time. Just trying to not be a frustrated asshole. I was so. I'll be honest. I was just so angry the entire week, and I shouldn't have been. I had a reception. It was great on Saturday. Good time. I got drunk.
I think that's the worst. That's the part of the as a kid, right? You know, you hear the jokes about holiday season being stressful and and you're like, how? It's the fucking holidays. But when you realize that your life doesn't stop, but then you have this entire month of extracurricular stuff that you have to, as well as making sure you're financially stable to buy everybody gifts, is just, it's stressful.
It's super stressful that. If you actually feel that obligation, I don't mess with it really too much. I always giving. If I can, I can. If I can't, I can't. So I've always kind of just been hey, be that way. Because I've had no money in giving and money in giving.
Yeah.
But for me, it was just one shit sandwich after another. It wasn't maybe some things that I could have handled better. But I was a pissy little the entire time. I just can't help it. I was just angry every day. My jaw was hurting, bro. I was sitting there this the whole time. I couldn't help it.
I tell you about doing cocaine, man.
Dude, yeah, really? I never got that. I never got that. No, but with how my jaw, I was so angry. I was just so angry.
A mask. Jim Carrey.
So yeah, but now better. Feel a little bit better now that everything is kind of smoothed out. Had some conversations, some uncomfortable conversations with some people, and it feels way better. It feels so much better. Besides getting, like I said, plastered the past, dude, I haven't gotten this drunk.
Was that accidental or was that a coping mechanism?
No. Mine was I was having fun. I was really having fun last night, having fun. It was great. My buddy Nick. So this episode is brought to you by Graziella Coffee, and I am upset because I am out of Graziella Coffee. I'm upset about it, and I want this one, but I can't have that one because we're giving it away.
But you have another bag coming in the mail because you're a subscriber, right?
Okay, good. So, yeah, I don't have anything to worry about then. So you're saying I shouldn't worry.
Why would you worry? It's coming in the mail. I mean, maybe the fact that you may have a couple days. But
yeah, but it's coming in a little bit in time for Christmas. It's going to feel great.
It's one of the greatest things I ever did was being a subscriber, man.
Yeah, see, remember, also, your first purchase, you go to GraziellaCoffee.com. BNN, promo code BNN, and go do it.
20% off.
20%. You can't go wrong.
And you know what I think I'm gonna do this year?
What?
It's gonna hurt my heart, but I think I'm gonna take one of the bags for my subscription. I think I'm gonna give it away as a last minute present to somebody in my family.
You're a good man. This one's given away. You're giving away that much. It's just a giving away thing. Listen, cheers. Just remember, don't work too hard.
Don't work too hard.
I put up a picture of him. He's like, yo, you want popcorn? I'm like, yeah. So he gets up on the counter like a 5-year-old, on his knees. That, yeah. With his little tootsies pointing out this way. And I'm like, bro, have you always searched through your cabinet? You're a big guy. Why are you doing this? You're a large guy. You could have just reached up. And he's like, yeah, it's my house. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. But you look like a 5-year-old. You look. I'll put that
off the counter.
Yeah, bro, your knees and your dirty feet. Yeah, I got to put that up. This shit was so funny. I was ragging on him for 30 minutes. But it has been insane. So for you're talking about new shows, things like that. You're going to try to go push them out a little bit. Yeah. We're excited for the future, though.
Yeah, we've been planning for 2021 for a little while now. Probably usually when the fourth quarter hits, it's kind of all right, execute fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Try and plan for the next course. You could, essentially we would like to be further than we are.
Yeah.
But we're making the progress that we need.
Yeah.
We've never really dove into what we're doing.
It's just stay planned. It's if you make a plan, you can go way further out than you think.
Yeah, I think that's that's my for lack of a better term, it's like my New Year's resolution is just planning, organization.
It's not sexy, but it is good.
I find myself telling multiple people, like double booking myself because I forget that I booked something prior, and I'm like, yeah, I could be there. It's fine. It's a normal day. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh shit. And then I'm running around and I'm super stressed.
And then you have to piss somebody off by going, yo,
or you just have to, or I try to not piss people off because that was my mistake. So I have to, I try to, correct it and say, well, it wasn't their fault that they did,
that
they were planning on me
day
to be well aware of my schedule. So
do you have a calendar? Do you use stuff on your calendar?
I don't use my phone calendar.
Okay.
It sounds so stupid, but it's too confusing. Not confusing in the sense of how to use it, but just I'm so used to looking at a calendar of like, here's the whole month. Like
a
when
whiteboard.
You dive into the day, and then it's like stretched out, and like 9 is up here, and then 9 p.m. is all the way down. You got to scroll. It's just too much. I'd rather just write on a calendar.
Yeah.
Here's
What
you
about
need to be.
What about having something that's like 3 months?
Yeah.
And then doing it that way.
Like a
whiteboard.
big whiteboard.
Yeah.
Big whiteboard. I have the big whiteboard.
That's the best thing I've ever done in here.
But I also
look at I have all written down right there.
I also need something that I can carry with me, which is why even my manager is like, he bugs me. I say, dude, why don't you just fucking use your phone, dude?
Yeah, I
that's something that I have to just.
I have an app. I have an actual scheduling app now that I use, but that's something I pay through my company. But I was like, yo, I just got to get more organized because it was the same thing. You're just letting people down. You're not showing up for this thing. So when I said, I was like,
burn myself out too.
I put lunches in there. Like I went, hung out with my buddy. I haven't seen this dude in forever. His family is freaking brutal. He actually, you know what this dude looks like? If I guarantee what my son will look like, a ginger man. Like in like 45 years. So I felt like I was sitting across from my possible son eventually. And I kept saying that to him. He's like, you're so stupid. I'm like, yeah, that's true. But it was just nice. It's nice when you go out to lunch. I booked that in the calendar. You got to, man. Because like, I think like after a while, you're just like, yo, there's too much that you could miss. You just like, what am I doing? You have 1,000 things to do.
I'm stretched very thin.
So being organized helps you not feel that stretched. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then it gives you the opportunity to plan the day before and look at your next tomorrow and be like, okay, here's what even if you know what you have to do, I feel like if you're looking at it and you say, okay, at this time I need to be here, so I have to wake up at this time, make sure I'm, that's another thing too, is making sure that I'm taking care of my body and putting the nutrients in that it needs to make it through the whole day. Like, bro, I lived 27 years of my life or maybe not 27, because when I started, like,
on the edge of a seat, just like run,
dude, just on like just running, fast food, quick, easy, fixes for everything else fell to the wayside as far as like, care. Sleep.
Yeah, you got to care now.
Food, mental health, like it all just was like, oh, I'll handle that later. And then you realize like, oh no, you have to schedule time to handle this shit.
You do.
It's not, and that's what's coming around to me now. Is like, I realized, like, I think we've talked about it before, but I realized like I'd never learned how to deal with emotions.
Yeah.
I never like figured. I was never cool with telling somebody how I felt in fear of them like being like, well, fuck you then.
Yeah.
Because I know how easy it was for me to be like, well, fuck you then to somebody else. You know what I mean? Like that was my thing, was I cut people off and I just, cut everything out. But then you mess with your head and in thinking that people are just as capable of cutting you off as you are cutting them off.
Yeah.
So you always kind of live on this like walking on eggshells of like, well, I don't want to say something's going to piss you off, or I don't want to go against, what we've been talking about doing, even though this is very like not a good situation for me, and then I end up biting a bullet that I don't need to bite.
Or from them. It's not a good situation for anybody. It's like, I cut you off.
Yeah. Like,
you're like, yeah, all right.
Yeah. Well, no, just even like if it was like a business thing, and it's just like that me finally halfway through realizing, oh, maybe this isn't the best move for me. But then I'm like, but I'm already here. Like, like this will be really awkward if I just tell you, hey, everything you're saying is fucking wrong for me. And
I can't do
this. I
this.
gotta go.
Yeah.
But now I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make sure that I'm making it a point of like, yo, is this good for you? Does this benefit you? Does it, is there a mutual thing going on where like if you do have to take a loss, there's a benefit to taking a loss, or like
you
like
have to stop being
the
a
good
people
outweighs
pleaser.
the bad. Oh my god.
Yeah. So like being a people pleaser, that's what you're doing before.
Yeah.
That's why
We've talked about
we've all done it, but it's like after a while you stop. Like you go, hey man, like I had to tell my best friends. I remember being like, hey, I can't hang out with you anymore. Like once I stopped trying to like people please, I was like, I can't do this anymore. And like once I like, it's like hanging out with a chick you've been messing with forever. It's like hanging out with an ex. And they're like, we can hang out, and you're like, yeah, it's not that bad. And then you're hanging out with them, like, man, this is really bad. Like I really shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
Or like this is really bad. This person's causing me more harm than good in this one experience that I like, and that's it. So after a while, you're like, all right. So now it's like, hey, let them down easy, but let them down. And
well,
I
also have to have some like respect for my own time, because like I'll schedule out some of my own time, or just like like I'm gonna sit down and watch a movie. And for me, what I
relaxing.
Do is, a movie takes me 3 days to watch.
Yeah. You're doing other things.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like and I'll get caught up halfway through. Somebody calls me, or I'm doing something. I have to do something on my phone or whatever, and then I realize like, I just missed like 20 minutes of the movie, so I have to rewind it. And then eventually I'm like, well, I'm not gonna be able to finish this whole thing, so just turn it off and watch this.
Shut that thing off. The best thing. This is recent, super recent, because we talked about it. Like, well, I talked about it with Eddie, and then I talked about it with you. And I was like, he's like, yo, sometimes you just got solitude and you just chill. And so now, like I have like after today, like after this, it's like, go relax. Like I literally says on my calendar, like assistant, put it in, go relax. Because it's like, this is your time. So like stay home, recharge, watch a movie.
Like even then, like when you just said like, yo, turn your phone off, like I already had an answer of like, no, dude, you can't turn your phone off.
Yeah.
Fucking work. Like,
so the only person, like, I mean, there's people like friends, like text your friends and have like friend conversations, not relating to business, is hard.
I don't have any friends anymore.
I do. I have friends that I started to make it as a business relationship. Like last night, I was hanging out with my buddy Nick. Technically, we've met through business, but
well, that's all. That's like all my friends.
All my friends are that now, like all of them, which is cool. But I don't have to always talk business with him.
Yeah,
that's. And so that has been a good.
Well, I think that's where you find your real friends.
Can you do that?
We've already established we're on the same page as far as our self. As far as like what I'm trying to do in my life and what you're trying to do. So we're going into this relationship. You know what my goals are for myself. I know what yours are for myself.
The intention's there.
And you know how hard me and you, when we first met. Or not first, but when we first got together after years.
Go ahead,
and years
say when we first got together again.
We were kids, dude.
Yeah,
we were kids. But
when we first docked up.
Yeah, when we.
Yeah, see what I did there? I had to when we first got together.
We had an understanding of each other's work ethic, and there was an understanding of how we work together. So there was never a moment where I felt like if I told you, hey, I can't make it this day because of X, Y, and Z, there was ever going to be like but you said this. It was like, no, I understand that this is what you need to be doing and whatever. And like I think we've probably had maybe more days than not where we're like, hey man, it's not going to work today.
Let's change it up.
Yeah. And we always make sure we do it. So that's where like, the friends from high school, some of them stick around. I have friends from high school that are still very, but it was because of the fact that they understood, like, I'm not going to see Ian every day. I don't need to put
and vice versa.
Yeah, like we don't need to be texting or on the phone for an hour every day to say that we're best friends or see each other. It's like, nah, bro. Like when I see you, it is what it is.
Yeah, we're gonna hang out.
We have that bond. The bond doesn't go anywhere. So that I think you find out once you have those people that are on the same page, because now. You might have related to these people in high school when you had absolutely nothing going for you and no idea what you wanted to do. Now you have a career. Now you have a wife. Now you have,
things you got to do.
Different things you have to do. And then you find other people who have a career. They have a wife. They have the same thing. They have kids, whatever.
So they don't take it personal.
They don't take it personal. Bro, me and my guitar player, bro, me and my guitar player and my bassist in the band, we're all dads. So, like, there's been multiple times where, like, my guitar player's like, hey, man, mom's sick. She can't take care of the baby. I'm on daddy duty tonight. And I'm like, dude, been there. Hope everybody feels better.
Yeah.
There's no, like, sure, it sucks. We can't, but there's this understanding of, like, I know that he understands the importance of what we're doing, but he also understands the importance and responsibility of being a father.
Yeah.
So he is going to handle that first. But I don't have that.
Where you're mad at him?
No, I don't have the. I'm not under the impression that he's taking this less serious. So I know that his next opportunity to make time when it is that will be next in line.
Yeah, it's. I'm glad. I'm kind of always interested in how like. Sometimes people have conversations. You need to have that one. I hadn't seen some of the people that that were at the reception that I had in like years. Like 2 of them, it was like years, like a year and a half.
Yeah.
So I see one of my buddies. He's an older guy. He's older than me by like 10, 15 years. Or no, probably more than 20 years older than me. So I love the guy. Like he's one of my favorite people. So when I seen him, it was just like right back to it. What have you been doing? Busy, man. It's just crazy. Gym, the gym took off, all the PT stuff. I see your videos, dude. Great job. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I see you do the podcast. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that, he's busting my ass about that. Nobody gives a shit about what your dumb ass is going to say. So it's like and we have that. And I'll be like, yo, I saw you did this. And it's like, you have that. You get over the fact, you get reacquainted. And now it's just, seriously, I must have hugged the dude like 8 times. I was drunk. But I'm just saying, yeah, I was drunk. I'm a hugger. I don't get close to personal space, but I will hug you. If you're there, I'm like, man, I love you, bro. Yeah. Like, I'm that like lovey guy. So I'm sitting there and like I'm rubbing his back. Like this is my man right here. This dude's a shit. He's like, you want to do shots? Yeah. So we do that. But it's amazing how to me that you haven't seen somebody that long. There was another person I hadn't seen for 2 years, and you're just like,
just picturing you rubbing this guy's back.
I'm just rubbing his back. Like this is my dog right here, dude. And we're having fun, and it's like, dude, that is what I was talking about. Those are the types of people that you want around. But as soon as like I had this, the opposite effect on one of them, and like I said, I don't care. So, it was these people, and they were like, so like, what's good? Like, are we hanging out or what? And I'm like, hanging out or what? Like, what do you mean? Like, are you hanging out that day? I'm like, yo, it's my reception. Like, what's wrong? Like, getting bitter that like, that I can't like, see what I'm saying? And I'm like, dude, like, we got to go. I don't see them often anyway, but it's like, yo, no. And so it's always interesting to me that even at 33, like I'm getting older and everything. You're just like, yo, you got to go. Like, I can't deal with that type of pressure where you're going to make me feel bad that I can't see you. You know what I mean? That's such a strange thing, spiteful thing. Yeah. And I have no time for it. Because if you think that I don't work hard for the people in my circle, you're crazy. But in order for you to get in that circle, you got to work hard too to understand that they're busy, I'm busy. I asked my buddy to go hang out last night. He said no. I wasn't like, what the hell? Actually, I did call him a bitch. But I was like, you're a bitch. But I was just like, he was like, I can't. And you're like, okay. Like, okay, it's fine. I have to work tomorrow. And I'm like, all right, good. You got to work. Started a new business. Great. But it's like, I wasn't like, son of a bitch. So people are weird. Like, yo, just like let people do the shit that they need to do, especially if you know in your heart, like if you're looking at them and you're like, man, they're so busy. They do so much. They do all this great stuff. And you're deflecting off yourself. You're like, oh, I'm not. Okay, well, that's you, mama. That's you. Don't get pissed at them, but you have to be equally as understanding with your friends that are doing it, hustling as well. Like, I'm a cheerleader. I'm definitely a cheerleader. Like, I see some shit you do, I'm like, fuck. Yeah. Do you see that shit? I was like, I share it with everybody.
That kind of goes back to what I was saying before of being able to like put your foot down and say like, hey man, like, no.
Yeah.
Because I had a problem.
Don't be a people pleaser.
I had a problem with that with like, not early on, but like, probably like 4 or 5 years ago. And we would do shows, and then when you get off stage, everybody wants to buy you a drink.
Yeah. So you're like,
I'm 150 pounds on a good day.
Yeah.
With Timberlands on soaking wet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. So like, I'm not a heavy drinker. Like,
which I could fix. I could fix this.
I don't want to be.
Just
everybody in my family loves alcohol. I'm good.
Just give me 3 months with you, bro. I will freaking make you a drinker and make you heavier. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'll take the heavier.
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
I'll take the heavy, but for me, it was, yo, man, you fucking killed it, and you're like, thanks, bro, appreciate it. Yo, come have a shot. Come have a shot. All right, cool. Come have a shot. Next thing you know, I'm pissed drunk, stumbling out of the club. I just performed it.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
And it's like then my whole night is ruined. And it's like
you want to enjoy it.
I'm like, what the fuck did I do last night? It was only because I couldn't say no to these drinks. I wanted these people to like me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, a lot of the times, like I said, you could play tricks. Like I used to do this thing where I would go out with everybody. Then towards the end of the night, I would hang on to a drink. I would, hey, can I get another drink? They'd see me go get a drink. I go, hey, give me a drink. Just seltzer.
Dean Martin.
Yeah. And then I used to just walk around and they're like, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's vodka and seltzer. And they're like, oh, really? Let me have some. And you're like, no. And then, but then
don't
just people do, friends do that shit. You're like, oh yeah, drink it. They're like, oh man, that's strong. I'm like, there's nothing in there, you stupid fuck.
Or they're just drunk with it. Or they don't taste the liquor no more.
Exactly.
Dean Martin said about Sinatra, he was like, to keep up with Sinatra's drinking, he said you have to throw the third drink. Every third drink, you got to throw it in a bush. You throw it in the bushes at the sands.
See, this makes me happy because I used to go out with my buddy and I was like people pleasing. I'm like, oh yeah, let's do shots. But then after a while, I was like, why not just say no? Like you could just say no to him. So we used to do this. We're at the bar. There's people behind me. I'm already a little drunk, and I know if I take that one more, you're gonna go in. I'm gonna go in the bushes. Drunk. I'm going in the bushes. So he goes like this. They all go to tip their head back. So they go to tip their head back, and I threw the drink behind me. I went like this, and I was like, ooh, ah. Did that. So, dude, I turn around, and this dude is standing up. He's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh, my God. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, but just don't say anything. So I go, oh, my God, I'm so but I'm whispering like this. I'm like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. And he's like, what? I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, but don't say anything. And he goes, don't say anything. And I'm like, he's like, you just, I'm like dead serious. And he goes, I'll buy you both drinks. And he goes, okay, cool. So I buy him a drink, and I bought his girl a drink. And then my boy, it was actually my buddy Jeff, was like, why are you buying them a drink? I'm like, I just felt like, it was a really great time. There's like water. There's like vodka on the floor. I just couldn't say no. You should have just said no, dumbass. Like, you ever just like think.
Well, how about those people where they get fucking offended when you say no? Like, you'd be like, oh, no, I'm good. And they're like, what do you mean, bro? You're not going to fucking, come on, bro. Have a fucking beer. I'm like, dude, suck my dick.
Yeah, have you ever had somebody, like, where you're like, hey, man, you're like, no mayo on my burger or, like, whatever. And they're like, no mayo on your burger, bro. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, no, like, just not now. I don't like mayo on my burger, which I like mayo. But I'm just saying, like, you say that. And they're like, what the hell you mean no mayo? Or, like, I will say this, though. I like cheese on my burger. So, like, I got offended, and then somebody's like, I don't want any cheese on my burger. I'm like, you don't want cheese in your burger? And they're like, if I eat it, I'm gonna shit my pants. There's gonna be poo.
I'm lactose intolerant.
Yeah. There's gonna be poo everywhere. Yeah. Do you want poo to be everywhere? I'm like, no. I'm like, that's fine. Yeah. So I got offended. So I get how it happens.
Yeah, no,
because you want them to party with your cheese. Party with my cheese.
So it was always just so weird to me because like these same dudes, like later on, I would be like, yo, man, you want to hit the blunt? They'd be like, no, I don't smoke. Like pussy.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Fucking pussy. How's it feel?
Yeah.
How's it feel, you fucking pussy?
You made me feel bad.
Come hit this blunt. You can't even smoke? Come on, pussy.
Yeah, but it hurts. Yeah, but smoking is just rough. And so drinking is easy.
There's nobody, dude, I hate when people lie to themselves. And they'll sit there and they'll buy this top-notch liquor and sit there and go, oh, that's great. You're a fucking liar, dude. That shit tastes like asshole. Are you it burns your throat on the way down.
Dude.
You have to, 90% of people make a face after they take a shot. They go,
Bro, I am so glad that we're talking about this.
You are so sad that you are fucking.
You're lying. You're lying. They're lying. Yeah,
they're lying.
I'm with you.
They're fucking lying.
So last night, right, I'm drinking bourbon, which I do like. But I like good bourbon. So he pours me a shot. The bottle costs $170. So it goes like this. So both of us. And then he goes, it tastes like they made it from my belt. And I'm like, we're drinking belt? And he's like, yeah, this legitimately tastes like my belt. And I'm like, yeah. So we had that banging ass, expensive bottle. And I was like, this tastes like like leather shoe. And he's like, it tastes like my belt. However, there was bourbons before we were drinking. I'm like, man, this is banging. This is really good. I think a lot of people lie like that. It was like that craft beer thing. Like people just lie. They're just full of shit. You know what I mean? Like I had this cheese one time. The guy's like, oh, it's very strong. Very
shit.
sharp. this cheese has an odor, and the odor is oak. And this, the odor smells a lot like my nan's feet. My nana's feet. And she's dead. And he's like, no, it's a aged oak.
Like if you had a toe infection, and you cut the nail, and smelt the nail,
it smells like that. And then they're like, so I put the cheese in my mouth because we were at a wine tasting, my first and last wine tasting I went to. So I put the cheese in my mouth. I couldn't not make a face in front of him. I went, wow. I'm like, that's very strong. And he goes, and he's like, yes, it's an acquired taste. It's an acquired taste. And I'm like, yeah, it's acquired taste. It's suck on somebody's toe.
You are a fucking acquired taste.
You suck on people's toes. You nasty. Hey, whatever. No, but a funky toe? A funky toe? You're gonna suck on a funky toe?
I'm not sleeping with a girl that's got funky toes.
No, my point. Okay, but that's not what I asked you.
Cute feet is a big requirement.
Hot. You're telling me funky toes? You put that in your mouth?
No.
Exactly. See, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, don't do that. I don't want to put that cheese in my mouth either.
Yeah, I was just trying to let y'all know. I'm a freak.
Sorry, pictures of your feet.
He went, I don't know if he just
I remember this story.
I don't know if he just hit like levels of desperation, but he just messaged every female that he knew on Instagram and was just like, hey, send me pictures of your feet for $200. And like eventually, like got into like, everyone was like, is this dude doing this to you? Is he doing this to you? And then eventually like all the things came out and you're like, whoa, this guy.
But did he get a lot of pictures?
He might have. I don't know if he was actually
for $200.
Paying, I
give me the money first.
Yeah, bro, I'll go and get a pedicure and shave my feet and make
You do?
I would.
Yeah.
If I could get $200 a pick,
oh yeah,
I will make my toes look hot.
They say that's actually how most like people get into OnlyFans.
Women selling
feet.
Panties and stuff.
Yeah.
If you're like, dude, I will. You want me to funk up some panties to sell you to them for 500 bones? Let's do it.
Okay, so this I have to tell the story, which I have told. I have. I'll tell it. Okay, so I had. It's bad. It's pretty bad. Yeah, it's not bad. I guess it's not bad. But so same thing. Got my Instagrams. This is a while ago. It's probably like 5-6 years ago. And I was like all stacked up. I'm all like getting jacked and stuff. And I know this person through somebody. So I don't know her well or her husband well.
Second party affiliate.
Yeah, second party. Yes, but so I get a message. Great squad or whatever. So blah blah blah. Just kind of keeps building. It's called grooming.
Great squad.
They're grooming me. Oh my god, your glutes are your butt is so strong, so big. Keeps going. This is a female talking to me like this. Then after a while, I was like squatting in shorts or something. Oh my god, those shorts are so tight. Blah 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 blah. Right. So then she goes, "Hey, can I ask you? Would you do something for me?" She goes, "I'm not gonna lie, me and my husband." And I've met him once, and I've met her maybe once or twice.
Muy interesante.
Yeah. So then, it's for like $250. Like we could send that to you. We can send it whatever you want. And then there's if you want to do more, would you be willing to do your squats naked for us? Like, would you be willing to do that? And I was kind of caught off guard. Like I never had anybody seek me like that. But there I am squatting with no, I didn't do it. But I almost did, but I was like, where is this going to go? Like who has this now? Like they wanted camera up, you know what I mean? Like camera on the ground.
So you were squatting onto the camera.
Onto the camera. or back. And then she was like giving me like pointers. And I did save the conversation. If I could find it, I block her face out, all that other stuff. Because the only reason why is I sent it at the time to my buddy, who might also still have the conversation. And I sent it at the time to this girl that I was seeing. And she's like, and so her thing is like, I remember she was like, $250, but that's a lot of money. And I'm like, it's a lot of money just to, put all yourself out to the universe, to these people. And I don't know what they meant, like, hey, after maybe more, like maybe. So I don't know. Like I said, they're just going to kind of keep pushing me out. You know what? Should I have done that? Do you think? Like, do you think that I should have done that?
No, because
I would have been $250 richer.
Now, can they see your face when you were doing it?
She said I didn't have to. Like, it's mainly.
I would have done it.
It's mainly. in, the Elefante.
Yeah.
So I think I probably should have done it. I'm going to reach out to her and be like, hey, is that offer still stand? Hey,
I'm late on a couple bills.
Because of inflation, we're talking $325 now. Yeah, I would definitely do it. I would do it. You know what? I'm going to reach back out.
There was a girl I just seen. She sells her farts in a jar.
I seen that.
She makes hella bread.
So when you open it,
yeah, you smell it.
Do you think that actually sends?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. I think it's.
As kids, we used to try to do this shit. But
I
don't know
used to try.
it worked.
I know that like socks and panties are a thing.
Yeah, socks and panties are a thing for sure.
Oh, dude. They make money. They make crazy money.
Yeah, and I think it's all just gonna eventually be.
It's like a marketplace.
Yeah, it's gonna be a marketplace, but like it's gonna eventually lead to like if you look at the numbers side of it, and you look how many people are making money, you're gonna realize that it's not like something so taboo. Like people are into different shit, and people are just have been shamed into not saying it. Like I think it's different. But like, hey man, if you get off from smelling somebody else's panties and they're consensually sending them to you and you're consensually paying for them and that's what you got to do to get off, like, I mean, I'm not gonna knock you for it.
I think it's all consensual.
I don't necessarily understand it, but
consensual. As long as the consensual part, I'm in. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Consensual, adults, all that stuff. I remember like people talking about like stuff and then being like all nervous. I'm like, bro, that's not that big of a deal. Like I know like a lot of people are into that or into certain things. I'm annoyed that I'm like such a child, like not a child, but I'm such like a young teen. I'm like, I love boobs and I love butts. It's like I'm not into anything.
Really?
I don't have like a thing. I'm kind of pissed. Like I feel like I got skipped over or something. Like I wanted some sort of trauma so I could have something cool, but I don't have it. You know what I mean? Like okay, so
it does come from trauma. That's
yeah, it does. A little smacking ass, whatever. A little aggressive, whatever. But I mean, I definitely am that. But I'm not sitting. But I have no. I want something. I want it. I do. So maybe I could start selling my naked squat videos. That could be my thing.
Are you a vanilla guy?
No, I don't know if I'm vanilla. I think I got some bean in there, like a vanilla bean, maybe. You could see it, maybe. Like I don't want to say that I'm vanilla.
Cosmopolitan. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, Neapolitan. Cosmopolitan. That's a drink.
It's a magazine.
It's just like, it's good. Yeah, I'm a cosmopolitan.
You're a little bit country. I'm a little bit rock and roll.
Yeah, see, like I'm a yes man when it comes to whatever. I'm down, but I don't have anything that I request.
Oh, you don't have anything. Okay, yeah.
Like I'm okay. I'm game. I'll try whatever once. If I know I don't like it, I don't like it. I'm not a no.
You don't have you don't have a thing.
But I wish I had a thing. Like people. I seen a dude one time. He's driving in a car, and I thought he was eating a taco. I thought he was looked like he was eating a taco. And it's his wife's foot in his mouth while he's driving. It's a popular video. It was just like, she's like laying back. I have
seen that video.
And you're like, is that a taco? That is a foot. This man is gobbling a foot.
Yeah, I think
I don't have that.
I think that's like, not voyeurism, but exhibition.
Exhibition.
Exhibitionism?
Exhibition.
Like,
want to go to places.
You want to like, push the limits of or like, they're like, oh, like fucking in the dressing room. Is
okay,
like, that was like
doing intercourse.
That was
in
like
the dressing room.
I had somebody that I won't say who, but somebody was always like, yeah, let's go. Like we would be in the store and be like, oh, fucking shit. And she'd
really?
She'd be like, yeah, let's go. And I'd be like, I could never do that.
That's called exhibitionism.
That's called like a possible sexual assault or sexual
sexual charge,
a little red flag charge.
yeah,
for the rest of your life. Yeah, like
I'm probably
sex offender charge.
I think
you get caught naked. Like what happens if like a kid walks? That's where it's just like, dude, it's too much.
But I think the chances of that, like no. But in a safe, it's safe thing.
Like my anxiety would go, and I'm like, there's no way I'd be able to perform.
Like I knew a dude who had a thing with hands. Like he had a thing with hands. This dude,
like he likes girls with big hands.
No, he likes like girls with nice hands. I remember I was
nice
like,
hands is a thing.
No, but I mean like that was his thing. Like he was like, yo, show me your hands. I'm like, what? Okay. Like, but my thing is like,
he asked you?
No, not me. I would be like, hey, how you show your hands is how you're okay with it. I'd be like, check this out. If you go like that, but like you have these are nice hands. He might even like your hands.
I have big alien hands.
I do. You have the tatted hands. Maybe he likes that. He's like, oh, you drew on them. It's nice. But I don't know. Like I just wish I had like a nice butt and a pretty person.
This is one of my best friends, and I put her name on my hand so that anytime I ever grab a titty or an ass, she's always there with me to grab that titty.
That's the most romantic thing. To be honest with you, I've never heard anything so romantic in my life. I want to do the same.
Girl.
I kind of want to. Now I want a tattoo on my hands. I think I could get it. I'm pretty established. Yeah, I should be all right.
You're way more established than I am.
No, dude, I definitely not. This all could go crashing down at any moment. Yeah. At least that's how it feels. So I hope that some of you can, just kind of, let us know like what certain people are into, or what would be an interesting one.
No, that is Pandora's box.
No, I want Pandora to open for us, and I want to just know, okay, what was not them, but what's the weirdest thing for others? Other people have requested, or you met like on Tinder, like we were talking before. Before we turned this mic on, we were talking before, like, she was into something, he was into something, and then you turn it down. Like, even if you turned it down, what did it ask you to do? Because mine was a squatty video with my testes hanging out. They wanted to see everything.
I would tell you about that the dude that was trying to work with me, and he was trying to get me to come onto his team.
Tell me this.
And
so the guy was like, "Yo, I want to work with you. You have a beautiful voice."
He was very very set. Like, he had plans, everything. He was like, "Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that." And it sounded promising.
Okay.
So I kept in touch with him, and then he hit me up one day. He's like, "Yo, I have a photo shoot for you for a swimwear company." He's like, just like, board shorts and like tank tops. And I was like, all right, cool.
That's dope.
I was like, I'm not the most physically fit guy, so I don't know if you want to see me in a tank top, but like, as far as lifestyle and somebody wears them.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, cool. He's like, so what are your measurements? And I was like, honestly, bro, I don't know. I never been like fitted for anything. I've never really, and I'm tall and lanky. I know I got weird measurements. I know they're not normal. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, all right, cool. So he was like, he's like, just stand back real quick. And he's like, look at him. He's like, okay, like, he's like, you're probably like this. He's like, what size shirt do you wear? I was like, this. So like, he was trying to get like he's like, take your shirt off. I was like, all right. So I took my shirt off. I think anything of it. It's not like I haven't shown the public me without a shirt on.
Yeah.
And then it got weird. And he was like, take your pants off. And I was like, whoa. I was like, hey man, I got people in the room with me. I was just trying to like come up with anything. I was like, I got people in the room with me. Cause like I said, I was trying to people please.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I don't want to like ruin this opportunity. Maybe it's like just something that goes with the game, blah, blah, blah. So I immediately, and the person that was in the room with me had modeled before. They modeled for clothing companies. And like, I hang up the phone. He immediately looks at me. He's like, oh no, he was super stoned at the time. So he didn't process it until after. And like later on, I come down and I'm talking to him. He's like, hey man, can I talk to you about something? And it was like a really personal conversation. It wasn't like, yo bro, like what's up? It was like, hey man, can I sit down and talk to you?
Talk to you.
And he was like, yo, that's not cool. He was like, that shit doesn't happen in the fashion industry. He's like, there's no reason for them to ask you to take your pants off on FaceTime and possibly leave you vulnerable to like a screenshot.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, well, that was what was going through my head, but like I was very like unaware of like I don't know, like maybe that's a thing. Like maybe it's just, like,
like I'm just here.
I mean, like whatever. But yeah, it was just like it was weird that somebody like tried to take advantage of me, and I was like naive, and I was.
You're like, yeah, sure.
And I was like,
yeah, cool.
It wasn't like I wasn't thinking about like doing it, but it was also like maybe this is something I'm looking at as like it isn't weird.
And then did you try to reach out to you again?
Bro, I have not spoken to him since.
Yeah, I don't think I meant like he tried to. Oh, so and then he ghosted you?
Yeah, well, yeah, yes, and we both ghosted each other because I said I was like I'm not gonna reach out because it just and it was weird because like he was like I need him today. And I'm like, he's like, take pictures for me. I need it. And I was just like, no, this is too weird, bro. Like,
yeah,
this is too
that's
uncomfortable
not
for me. Like,
good.
I'm not somebody who does well with that.
That's not good.
And so that was like one of the first times I like stood my ground and I was like, hey man, I'm not comfortable with this. And then he kind of like ghosted me and then he hit me up recently and I just never responded.
Yeah, don't respond. Yeah, that's bad, bro. I
mean, it's weird shit that goes on in this game, bro.
It's weird shit that goes on day to day. But I mean, like, if you have people that do that shit, it's like. Like I said, it's about that safety and security, man. Nobody wants to feel that way. And dude, that's a thing that just happened with that Ghislaine Maxwell, Ghislaine.
Mouth.
Yeah. So she got off scot-free.
That's crazy.
She got off scot. They had 4 witnesses.
Only 4.
4.
Only.
On top of, so you had 4 witnesses. You had one, the pilot who had taken all these dudes,
said he saw nothing.
And you know what? I bet his bank account is big, big. It's just like he was like, boom. The people's names who were on the list, they couldn't pay. You know what I mean? The people's names who got scratched off, they could pay. Because you can't have that wide of a sex ring and all this other shit go on, and then I lost my mind, bro.
Bro, that was like, his main hustle. Like,
that's
that
what I'm
was
saying.
What
and
he
her
did.
and her
so
and
like,
his.
To me, it would be like me showing up in a picture with you, and being like, "Oh, I had no idea he owns a gym.
Never met the guy.
This guy does physical fitness? What do you mean? Oh, I thought he was just a good guy.
I was on a podcast with him 41 times. And it's like, nope, never met the guy. And it's like, that's what it felt like to me. Bro, that shit is trash. I was so pissed.
There's some serious names on that list.
There was a big names on that list. And then there was like
Will
people.
Smith on the list.
Dude, Chris Tucker was on that list. Jay-Z was on that list. Bill Clinton's obviously on that list like 1,000 times. Bill Gates is on that list. There's like 2 other people, like big names that were on that list. It's like, but guess what? Yep, exactly, bro. That drives me crazy. It's all about coin. They don't care. And
we knew every single fucking detail of the Rittenhouse case.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Like
every
second
of that court.
They would go, look at the way that he looked at the camera. Do you remember? Then they were like, look at the way his defense looked at the camera. Like they were nitpicking. People were nitpicking everything. But you get a woman.
There were accounts that were getting shut down that were like reporting on the trial.
Insane. Yeah, that's so sketchy, insane.
Man. We're in a weird time.
I do not. As much as I am a capitalist, like as much as I am, at doing that, I believe you want to make money. Everybody has the opportunity. Everybody can do it. However, I think that when you get to that, the justice system should go, hey, sorry, like, I don't care. Like, we got to really do, like, come on, bro. This is insane to me.
That's
insane to me,
I mean, but that's the thing is the justice system is corruption. So intertwined in all of this shit as well.
That bothers me.
Because
there's politicians on there.
There's politicians that are taking money from people that are on, people that are taking money from.
Imagine if the dude's name, the judge's name was on. He's like, oh shit, that's not good. That's not pertinent right now. I was just taking a trip.
Hey man, this is you.
Yeah. Is this you? He's like, oh. He's like looking around. He's like, oh shit, we gotta go, and you're not guilty. Boom, just hits it. I bet that's what happened, bro. Oh shit, boom, you're not guilty. Yeah, you're good. I'll see you in a little bit. All right. On that note, on a very tragic note, on that awful case, are we out of here? We're out of here. Are we out of here?
That was quick,
dude.
Oh, yeah, that was quick.
It's not the first time I've heard that, Ian, and it will not be the last.
Well, I mean, hey, just like the other thing we're talking about, if you just give me like a joint and a sandwich, I'll be able to do another one of these.
Let's go. Yeah, and then also let's go do some squats naked in the gym. You want to go?
I'll film.
All right, let's go.
I need a 20% cut on that.